Welcome to Dead Serious History, where we dig into the past and uncover the scandals, the gossip, and the moments that shaped history. Today, we're kicking off a brand new series, The Crown in Reverse. This is history, but backwards. We're starting with the most recent members of the British monarchy and working our way back in time, one ruler at a time, until we reach the very first King of England. And maybe even before that, because, let's be honest, history is messy, and the British royal family didn't just pop into existence one day, all wearing crowns and waving from balconies. But for now, we start with the man who is first in line to the throne, Prince William. If you're thinking, oh, William, he's the normal one, the sensible one, the boring one, well, not so fast. Because behind the polished image of the future king is a life filled with pressure, drama, heartbreak, and yes, a few scandals the palace would rather we all forget. Buckle up, because this is The Crown in Reverse. Episode 1, Prince William. It's June 21st, 1982. Over in the US, Michael Jackson's Thriller album is dominating the charts. He is still making people cry in theaters. And across the Atlantic, Britain is celebrating a major royal birth. At exactly 9:03 p.m., Prince William Arthur Philip Louis is born at St. Mary's Hospital in London. His arrival is a big deal, not just because he's the son of Prince Charles and Princess Diana, but because he's the heir to the throne. One day, barring any major changes to the monarchy, William will be king. This means his entire life, every moment, will be scrutinized by the press, the public, and the royal institution itself. No pressure, right? From the very beginning, William is presented as the perfect little prince. Smiling, well-behaved, doted on by his mother, and seen as the fresh, modern face of the royal family. But let's be real, the royal family needed a fresh face. Because, by the early 80s, public opinion of the monarchy was, let's just say, not great. Queen Elizabeth II was seen as distant. Prince Charles wasn't exactly winning any popularity contests. But Diana? She was the superstar. And William? He was, by extension, the golden child. Diana made sure his childhood was different from previous heirs. She didn't want William growing up in a bubble, isolated from the world. So instead of being privately tutored inside a palace, William went to actual schools, Wetherby Prep, Ludgrove, and later, the prestigious Eton College. She also took him and Harry to places no other royal children had been before. Theme parks, fast food restaurants, even homeless shelters. She wanted them to see the real world. But if Diana was the warm, affectionate parent, Charles was, well, a little less so. There are stories about how Charles didn't know how to interact with his own kids. He was raised in a strict, formal household where emotions were not a thing. There's even a famous moment caught on camera where a young William runs up to hug his father after a long trip, and Charles, awkwardly, shakes his hand. Not exactly a Kodak moment. But despite the differences in parenting styles, William was still being raised as a future king. And that meant duty came first, even when his world was falling apart. By the early 1990s, William's perfect royal childhood started to crumble. His parents' marriage, a total disaster. Affairs, fights, tabloid leaks, it was all happening in real time, with the whole world watching. And in 1992, the Queen announced what everyone already knew. Charles and Diana were separating. For William, this was brutal. He adored his mother. And now, he had to watch as she was publicly humiliated by the royal family and the press. In 1995, Diana gave an explosive interview where she talked openly about Charles' affair with Camilla. And she did not hold back. She famously said, "There were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded. Ilf. The interview sent shockwaves through Britain. The monarchy had never been this publicly exposed before. A year later, Charles and Diana's divorce was finalized. And then, just 1 year after that, tragedy. August 31st, 1997. William and Harry are at Balmoral Castle in Scotland with their father when they get the news. Their mother, Diana, is dead. She was in a car accident in Paris, chased by paparazzi. William was just 15. Harry was 12. And in that moment, everything changed. Millions watched as the two boys walked behind their mother's coffin. But what most people didn't know, they were forced to do it. Years later, William admitted that it was one of the hardest things he's ever done. He was grieving, but the royal family insisted on tradition. No visible emotion, no breaking down, just duty. This was a turning point. From then on, William's relationship with the press changed. He hated them. He blamed them for his mother's death. And moving forward, he made one thing very clear. He would protect his future family from the same fate. Which brings us to Kate Middleton. Let's fast forward to 2001. William enrolls at the University of St Andrews in Scotland, where he meets Kate Middleton. At first, they were just friends. But in 2002, Kate walks in a charity fashion show wearing that she dress. And suddenly, William sees her in a very different light. Their relationship blossoms in secret. Well, mostly secret. The press eventually finds out, and Kate becomes a target. She's followed, photographed, and dissected by the tabloids. Is she good enough? Is she royal material? Does she have the right background? The pressure is intense. So much so that in 2007, they actually break up. But just a few months later, they're back together. And in 2010, William proposes with Diana's engagement ring. A royal wedding follows. And Kate is officially the future queen. But behind the perfect fairy tale, cracks are already forming. It's the wedding of the decade. Prince William and Kate Middleton tie the knot in a grand ceremony at Westminster Abbey, watched by over 2 billion people worldwide. Kate is officially the Duchess of Cambridge. And the world, they love her. She's elegant, she's composed, and she fits the royal mold perfectly. But behind the scenes, not everything is as picture perfect as it seems. Because while Kate is being celebrated, there's another woman in the picture. Enter Meghan Markle. In 2016, Prince Harry meets Meghan Markle. She's a Hollywood actress, an activist, and, importantly, not British. The media immediately has a field day. Some love her, some hate her, and behind palace doors, things get tense. Because according to reports, William wasn't exactly thrilled about Harry rushing into marriage. He allegedly told Harry to slow down, and Harry did not take it well. Thus begins one of the biggest royal feuds in modern history. In 2018, Meghan and Harry get married. At first, everything seems fine. But then, the cracks start to show. There are rumors of fights between Meghan and Kate. Reports of William and Harry growing distant. And then, in 2020, Megxit. Harry and Meghan drop a bombshell announcement. They're stepping down as senior royals and moving to California. The press loses it. The palace scrambles. And William, he's reportedly furious. Because for the first time in his life, his brother, his only sibling, has walked away from the royal family. And whether he admits it or not, William knows that one day, when he's king, he will have to deal with the fallout. Now, let's talk about something very interesting. Something the royal family would love for you to forget. The Rose Hanbury scandal. For those who don't know, Rose Hanbury is the Marchioness of Cholmondeley. Try saying that 5 times fast. She's also a close friend of William and Kate. But in 2019, rumors start flying that William had an affair with her. The tabloids start digging. Kate reportedly phases Rose out of their social circle. And William? He never addresses it. The palace stays silent. And weirdly, the British press, who love royal gossip, barely covers it. Why? Because, according to some reports, William's lawyers sent out legal threats to any publication that tried to dig too deep. Coincidence? Maybe. Suspicious? Absolutely. But let's be real. If there's one thing the royal family is good at, it's making scandals disappear. So, what kind of king will William be? He spent decades preparing for the throne, watching and learning from his grandmother, Queen Elizabeth II. But times have changed. Public trust in the monarchy isn't what it used to be. More and more people are asking, do we even need a royal family anymore? And William, he knows it. That's why he's carefully shaping his image. He wants to be seen as modern, relatable, in touch with the people. But the question is, when the time comes, will it be enough? Because if history has taught us anything, it's that being born into power doesn't guarantee you'll keep it. And if William's reign is anything like the ones before him, well, let's just say, the crown is never as secure as it seems. And that's it for episode 1 of The Crown in Reverse. We started with Prince William, but next time, we're going even further back, to his father, King Charles III. Scandals, affairs, royal drama, you name it, we'll cover it. Make sure you subscribe to Dead Serious History so you don't miss it. And let me know in the comments, what do you think of Prince William? Future king material? Or just another royal mess waiting to happen? I'll see you in the next one.